And we're almost coming up on a full year straight of weekly updates.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I believe this is number, according to my my log here for people who pay attention to the online stuff. This is week 50 straight.
50 home stretch on it. Yeah.
So 2 more weeks, and we'll have been doing this one complete year.
That's awesome. Well, cool.
So,
well, hey, that really fills in, or falls in line with, one of my many catchphrases. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing.
Yeah,
we did it.
Yeah, I remember when I first started this company, we were people were like, well, how long have you been doing this? Like, well, we have our updates, and like, well, how many updates have you had? Like, now it's like, I think total we have like 160 updates in the video queue.
Wow.
But just the weekly updates we're up to 52. I'll have to look at some. You have to look total and see what the stats are on the weekly updates plus everything else. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of content we have, and it's always fun to me to like see what people actually view and what we have the highest hits on. So
yeah,
seems like our tips and tricks videos are the ones that are most popular amongst the community members.
Well, good.
Anytime we say, maybe we should start titling more videos. This one weird trick will net you cash.
There you go. There we go.
Those are the ones I always see on Facebook. This one weird trick to lose weight. This one weird trick that your doctors don't want you to know about diabetes.
Oh yeah, constant.
Oh, my wife always chuckles at those. And how this is relevant is that it's like everybody out there is trying to sell one trick. We want an easy answer. We don't want to change our lifestyle.
Right.
Like when you're trying to, get healthier, it's not everybody wants like the crash diet. They want that thing that's going to change their life in like the least amount of effort possible, which I guess is good. But when you think about your dietary changes, you're like, okay, how do I get this much protein in my diet? I know these lifestyle changes I need to have. Now, how do I get there? Mm-hmm. And the people I've seen have been successful at like keeping off weight and exercising, myself not being one of those people. They just accepted a new lifestyle. They got into a good set of habits that they worked hard on, and now they look good. And the people I'm most impressed with are the people who, they like I was a college athlete. I was an all-American athlete, and I was in shape. I mean, I could run 4 miles and be like, okay, that was a great warm-up. I mean, I was in shape. And now I've got this big old beer gut. If you asked me to jog a mile, I'd probably like just pass out halfway through. And the people who get to where I am right now and then move on and become an athlete again, those people are impressive because they overcame an obstacle. They found a lifestyle that worked. And sometimes in business, we start off really great as an entrepreneur, and then we hit this kind of lull where we kind of get fat and lazy again. And it's like, okay, how do I overcome this? Some people just say, you know what, I like this, I'm good. And then you fall into the trap of if you're not growing, what is it? If you're not growing, you're dying.
That's right.
Like that's a trap. That's against the EOS thing. And so you see people like, shift gears. Like they spent like 5 years in this lull, and all of a sudden they're like, I got to do something about this. And they shift gears, or they sell their company, or they do something. But the people who shift gears, you see them all of a sudden accelerate. Their stories are amazing. Like, what did you do? Well, we went through this process, and we started getting our house in order. Was there one weird trick? No. They might recommend you a book. They might say, hey, if you do profit first mentality, or if you get a good marketing department, that helps. But there's always more to it. There's no real one surefire way.
Absolutely. And that is the key, and that's what, we, I think, we see it in the events that we put on, and, the specials, the webinars, people are coming and they're looking for, the magic lever, and I always make this, we're on video, right? So I always make this motion here, well, this motion is the slot machine, right? They think, oh, I'll try this tool, this one, and they're just dropping, tokens in the slot machine, hoping that something's going to pay out. And that's not the way it works.
Yeah.
You know, we tell everybody we have a QBR report, but the quarterly business review report is not the quarterly business review. You know, that the QBR is an engagement that you have with your clients. You do it about once every quarter. You talk about business, you review their technology, right? It's a conversation, not a presentation. You know, I got that one in again. You know,
I say at
it's
least
this
once
whole-
per meeting.
Absolutely. It's like a requirement or something. You know, it's this whole process that you go through. And if you or your staff, if you ever hear your staff thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to do that QBR with them, and you get the sense that they think doing the QBR is running the report. When you ask an account manager, did you do the QBR? Oh yeah, I sent them the report. That should be a giant red flag. Okay. They're subscribing mentally, whether they know it or not. They're subscribing to the magic fat loss pill, right? You know, they're thinking, hey, I sent that out and that's all going to be great and we're all good. And they're missing the conversation. They're missing, it's not necessarily hard work, you know, in this case, but it is extra effort. It's intentional. You have to be very intentional about it. So to kind of tie back into Adam's dieting and all deals, you know, it's not necessarily hard to diet. I mean, but you can eat really good food. You can enjoy what you eat on a diet. You just have to be very intentional about it. It's going to take some more time in the kitchen, or, you know, some more effort at the restaurant that you're going to, where you're going to. It's just more intentional work there to make sure you're focused in doing what you need to get done to carry that conversation around and not let yourself fall into magic pill solutions.
But the magic pill solution is easy.
Oh, it makes great marketing material. You know?
It does. You know, that's the dirty secret for people, is that the amount of response I get when I do like a Facebook ad that says this trick will net you this, I get a lot of response out of that. But if I say, hey, let's have a good conversation about doing this stuff, people are like, oh, I don't have time for a conversation. But then on the flip side, when HIT members are talking back to us through our regular updates, you're like, man, when I had a conversation, I netted so much more cash.
Yes. Yep.
And we hear that consistently over the years.
We do.
And with this last year of doing the HIT weeklies and stuff like that, we've really hit it into a gear that that shows that if you have a conversation, if you put the work in, you will get more.
Yep.
My dog is wagging its tail in its sleep, and it's hilarious.
I was wondering what was going on over there.
You hear that noise in the background? It's my dog, like, she's dead asleep and she's wagging her tail. Missy.
Yeah. So I've been going through and doing our QVRs with many of our members. So if you haven't had a QVR with Adam and I here in the last few weeks, that's your quarterly VCIO review. Go out there and grab some time on our calendar and let's schedule that, because we do want to meet with you guys regularly and just talk about some business and help things stay on track. But that is one of the things that I'm hearing consistently from many of our members, is the ones that are really out there. They're trying to have the conversations. They're finding opportunities, and when they sit down, and I just have to say, it is gratifying. I know it's not just me or Adam, you know, but when they say, yeah, I used your report and it's just knocking it out of the park, you know, it makes me feel good. So I'll just go ahead and throw that out there for whatever marketing value that has. You know, we've got a lot of people out there that are saying, yeah, we sat down, we use this report, but we had a conversation. I mean, you know, whatever it is, our report, Adam's, you know, whiteboard, whatever approach you want to go, have that conversation, go the extra mile. And we are hearing over and over and over from our member communities that they are closing new business, they're growing, they're getting additional spend from current customers. It's challenging times. It doesn't happen with all your customers. We do understand that, but there is opportunity out there to have these engagements and excel with your clients like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of what brings us up to what this week is you know, I always write down in the weekly email what we're going to talk about, and this week it's really a focus on what does Q4 look like and what you can do for your customers. And it's not a simple trick right now.
No,
And when
not at
it
all.
comes to your customers, like, yes, you want to know, like, what should I be selling my customers right now? And the answer is, if you want a quick answer, sell yourself.
Yeah.
Because right now, do they need firewalls? Do they need PCs? What if you're a VAR, then you're a VAR. I can't help you there.
Yeah.
But if you're an MSP who's trying to show value to your customers and figure out how to help them, have a conversation with them about what does 2021 look like for their business if it were to be successful.
Yep.
How do you get there and get successful? So talk to your client, pick up the phone, schedule a conversation with them, and talk to them through, like, 2021 is around the corner. We are in
Yep.
fourth quarter here, people. We've got just a couple weeks and we're in the home stretch. And this has
And
been
I do
a
think
crap
this is,
fest of a year. There is no easy answers right now. You have to use your brain. And you want your client to be knowing that they have your brain helping them make a successful 2021. They may not have any money right now because of just the crap fest that was this spring and summer. And they may, however, budget you in for 2021, knowing that they
yes,
got to do something about this.
they got to do something. And that's the key part. I mean, if you roll the calendar back, you know, however far back you want to go since all the pandemic response started, I think there was a common theme, an idea, or maybe just a feeling with a lot of business owners that this feeling was that things were going to go back to the way things were, that they just needed to ride it out. They needed help in this time, and then things were going to go back. But the longer we have been in this, I think the more apparent is to everyone that we're never going back to the way it was. I mean, I can't tell you what the new normal is going to be, but it's definitely going to be different than the way it was before. And now that everyone is beginning to really buy in and accept, hey, we have got to change. The marketplace has changed. Our employee community has changed. Regulations have changed. So many things have changed. They're realizing, hey, my business has to change. You guys have all worked with those clients who've done business the way they've always done it, right? Sometimes it's the CPA firms who, they would buy computers, but they wouldn't really, go digital. You go into their office and they're still sitting around with mountains and mountains of paper. Why? Because they've always done it that way. And there's so many other businesses that you've probably worked with that, because the rate of change was so slow, they could afford to stay stuck in that, hey, we've always done it this way mode. But now in today's market, we've had such a radical change that pretty much every business is going to have to change or they're going to go out of business. And business owners realize that. They see that. They're coming to the table, and so that's opportunity for us to help them with that change, help them with the technology to drive the new business.
Yeah, and that follows up on, like, what is the one trick your client needs? And there is no one trick. Sorry.
Right.
Each
Yeah.
of your clients is a unique little snowflake, just like each of you MSPs have a different portfolio that you offer. Now, there are some commonalities among your clients. It's up to you to find those and say, hey, you know what? In general, my clients don't use Teams. In general, my clients do not have mobile platforms. And you've got to decide what that is. But however, each one of your major clients, let's just take your top 3 clients that you have in your company, and let's talk through them about what does 2021 look like, and how do you do this with a tool? It's a matter of, well, let's just look at that.
Yeah.
You need to. There we go. You need to come into your client, create a new, so you've got all these done here already. You need to create a new report template for strategic QBR for 2021. You need to be doing this now. These need to be done by the end of this fiscal year, for this calendar year.
Yes.
Some of your clients, it doesn't matter if your client's on a fiscal or calendar year, you can worry about that later, but you need to have these in place. So we're going to say this, and we're going to start off a new blank template. You're going to open it up, and you're going to talk to your client through this sort of first part. We're going to talk about, what does this year look like? What does 2021 look like? That's step one. That's a phone call. It's very simple. It's a phone call sometime in the next 3 months that clarifies what they think 2021 looks like for them, and where do they need help? What would it look like ideally? And use your brain, use your tool set to figure out what does their technology roadmap look like, and then create it. Create an executive summary that says, hey, 2020 sucked for this client. They lost 20% revenue. They're looking at gaining that back in 2021, but here's where they need help. And so run through the audit and make a project roadmap, and then prioritize these things, move them around, make it look good, plan them out by month or quarter, and figure out, like, okay, so how much can you afford? Let's make this roadmap. We're not spending any money today. We want to make a roadmap to get you successful. This is all the conversation is. Roadmap to help them be successful. And then it does two things for them. One is it gets them back on cadence with you. Now you have a populated QBR that you can meet with them every quarter next year, every month next year if you want.
Yep.
The second thing it does is it gives them some confidence and peace of mind. Everybody is struggling for a plan, and you're going to be the first company to come in and say, I have a plan. All you're doing is building a roadmap with them. First thing you do, have a phone call conversation. Second thing you do, review their technology and see what's going on internally. This is a conversation that happens inside your MSP. It does not involve the customer. I'm sorry, I have the quarterly up, don't I?
Yep.
Let's throw the annual up there, just so this makes sense.
A little bit further down.
I'm terrible at reading lists. All right, just so we sound a little bit. So we have gone out of the, what we need to know is, like, we need to get out of the quarterly planning phase now, and we need to get back into the annual. You're going to have that phone call with them in the next 3 months. Schedule it today. As soon as you get done watching this video. Audit their technology, run the 3 audits that we have for you, and then give them that roadmap we talked about. This is not that they're buying this today. This is something on their schedule over 2021 to be successful, or over the next 3 years for them to be successful.
Yes. And now what's really handy about this project roadmap is it can be a really, really valuable sales tool for you guys, but it's not a sales approach. So this works out really good for your technical account managers, guys that maybe aren't normally wearing a sales hat, or maybe they're doing a little bit of both. But even for your straight up sales guys, they're going to love this, because you sit down and you start talking through this roadmap. You're not trying to sell these guys products. You're not trying to, close a deal on this. What you're doing is planning out these projects, and you tie them in. You even go in and, change the names on some of this stuff. So it ties to business initiatives, how they're going to change their company. And so you put those out on the roadmap. And I wouldn't, unless they really need it, unless they're really asking for it, I wouldn't try to close any of their business in 2020. All right. Some of it's going to happen automatically. All right. So here's a real deal. Trust me on this. All right. If you go and start putting those out in 2021, all right, start putting those out on the calendar, you're just going to build a huge pipeline. But in doing that, you're going to prime the pump, and a few things will close early. All right. But back to using this project roadmap, just laying these out with all your clients will allow you to build out a stable project revenue flow for all of 2021. And it's going to help you get more of that money. If you create a budget item for your clients here, and then you do a really good job at quoting it, you get the price deviation, whatever, and it comes in at less than what you've budgeted there, you're going to look like the hero. Okay, that's always good. But 2, because you've got a budget number here, you have absolutely perfectly primed opportunity to say, hey, now that we have saved this $4,000 here, why don't we roll it over and put it onto this project that we've been thinking about, but you guys didn't have money for. All right. So you're going to leave a lot, I mean, a whole lot less money on the table if you'll use these project roadmaps, use them as budgeting tools. They become sales tools, but don't use them as sales tools. Use them to facilitate the conversations, to create roadmaps with your clients, and then sit back and watch them become great sales tools for your organizations.
So one of the things that somebody picked up on yesterday, you know who you are, is note that I popped in a brand new report that I have not filled out at all yet. So here's my annual activities checklist. You can see that it's blank. These are the things that you should do annually. Run your architecture audit, blah, blah, blah. Note that the project roadmap is already full. Why is that, Skip?
Great feature set. We can flip the switch up there and we can get all kinds of stuff.
It's full because I showed all client projects. So all the audits we ran last year that we did not complete are still listed. And so you can review like, hey, we didn't get these things done because it was a crap year. Let's plan them out for next year. Let's take them off of 2020 and move them into 2021. You're not losing track of money on the table now.
Yes. Things aren't slipping through and being forgotten.
Things aren't slipping through.
Yeah.
It's this money you have already that you know you have, and you like, oh crap, well, we should get to that someday. Here it's on the menu. It's automatically brought into the next report. I did nothing here. You watch me. I did this live. It's already there. You just got to adjust this, and you got to add in like, you know what? Maybe this productivity calendar doesn't really matter anymore. Let's go ahead and remove that. These are all recommendations from the 4 pillars from last year. You know, maybe let's not worry about, you know, PC lifecycle management right now because no one's on site. You know, let's push some of that cash somewhere else, or let's move that out to a future year.
Yeah.
You don't want to overwhelm your client, so put things on here that specifically are going to help them improve given the current economic climate in your country. Do this and then reprioritize the projects. And if they're an additional project, then go ahead and put down the value of them and say, when would you like to do these next year? Get them approved. There's a reason why we have this annual planning phase up here: roadmap, delivery, and approval. We do the same thing with a quarter. Plan next goals and approve them. At the end, add the action items. Who's going to do what? But right now in 4th quarter, you have one weird trick to do. Create a project roadmap for 2021.
There you go.
Even if your client has no money to spend in 4th quarter.
Yep.
Create a project roadmap. And then sometimes what's going to happen is a client's going to say, well, we can do that today, can't we?
Yep. Absolutely.
Of course. Let's schedule in that Teams implementation. Let's go ahead and buy those licenses. Let's go ahead and train your team on Zoom right now so that things are better. Let's go ahead and put that order in for those laptops, knowing that there's probably gonna be a backlog in 1st quarter as everybody tries to order laptops with their new funds.
Yeah. Yep.
Get ahead of these.
Here's my trick. Here's my quick tip on this. You got your project roadmap up. Take the top 3 items there and rename them. Okay. Make it a business goal. So the number 2 item on there was our TSA report. All right. And it was the standard language that comes out of that, you know, out of the TSA, implement Office 365 based email management.
What should we call that instead, Skip?
Get off of Gmail. All right. So your clients are going to understand that. All right. They've had some problem with Gmail. Whatever it was, it wasn't the end all, you know, be all for them. They're ready to get out. And if you quit calling it, hey, let's migrate to Microsoft Office 365 business email administration, throw that out the window, right? Tell them, hey, we're going to get you off of Gmail. They're going to go, great. Let's do that now. Can we, please? All right. You're going to change the narrative there and quit, you know, focusing on the technical elements. Focus on what is important to your client. All right. That they don't really care why Outlook is so much better. All right. You know, Gmail is a threading based messaging services where, you know, Outlook or Exchange is what a message based. I don't know. There's you know, some sort of little programming issue there. Clients don't care, all right? They just don't want to have the problems they're having today. So you're going to give them another solution that's going to fix that. Focus on that. And if you do that with just the top 3, all right, just go through, identify the business goal for the top 3 projects. You will have very, very little resistance in getting those top 3 things done.
These should be, and if you go through the course that you all have access to, one of the key components is make these the names of, and if you use this is one of my favorite things to do, is come on, get back down there.
Yep.
No, not that one.
But it worked.
I renamed it.
Oh.
Project recommendations. I always forget. So one of my favorite things is like tie the name to one of these. What's the project? They need better internet speed. They're not installing a firewall. You're increasing their internet speed. Here is the explanation of it down here. And you'll have several of these in a single quarter. But use that as a template to understand how these projects work, so that when they say, hey, it's not server management project or mobile device management, it's get the phones seamless with company policy. Stop the bad guys.
Yep.
Use the project that tells them what, like, let's keep bad guys out. That's just multi-factor. We're gonna go through across every admin device, and we're gonna turn on multi-factor. And I don't have to go through the big explanation what multi-factor is. We'll get to that when it comes to the training on how to use two-factor, or what kind of multi-factor we're going to use. If we're going to use Duo, we're going to use something from Microsoft, what are we going to use? But to the client, they just know for $5,000 or $10,000, they can get rid of the bad guys. They can make it so that people from China cannot log in. Right now, hacking is at a very, very high. We are seeing a massive spike, which happens every time there's a natural disaster. This has just been a prolonged one. Everybody's in confusion and people are taking advantage of it. Now is a good time to sell cybersecurity.
Absolutely.
Now is a good time to get with your clients and help them solve problems that they're facing. Right now, people are trying to solve problems on their own. They don't know that technology professionals are here. So get a phone call. Use the HIT annual planning. Today, hit number 1. Number 1 is this next 4th quarter. If you can get all 3 these steps done in the 4th quarter for your major clients, you will generate revenue.
There you go. That's it.
You will generate revenue. This isn't, you might see an uptake of 15% per, but no, you will generate revenue if you get through those first 3 with your major clients over the next 3 months. You will have a very happy 2021. Some of you had a very happy 2020, actually. Now imagine if you accelerated. Take my advice, take Skip's advice, and run with this. There is no one weird trick. There is you. And this is why you get paid good money to do this stuff. This is why people want to do business with you. This is why you're going to come out on top in the end. Because you're going to have these roadmaps built for your clients that's going to generate increased profits. It will generate increased profits. You have my word on that. You talk to your major clients about these things that we just showed you. And for those of you arriving late, watch the first half of this when we publish it. You will generate cash.
Yep.
You will come out ahead in 2021. Everybody's panicking today. Everybody wants an answer. You get on their this is the trick from the corporate side. You get to the first of the, you need to be the first person to the table when it comes to asking. They haven't done their budgets yet. They won't do their budgets until mid-December because that's the way people work. They'll put their budget requests in, they'll figure their budget out in December, and you want to be up there first. You want to request in October, November, like, hey, here's the roadmap we have for next year. This is what's going to help you survive 2021 and come out way ahead. You're going to be a differentiator in your field. Here is the list of projects we need to do. I need you to get approval for these so that we can start running this next year and you guys can come out ahead. So you can have a great distributed workforce, or you can have an improved onboarding when people come in-house starting in January or whenever they start coming back in-house. that you're going to be there. You have a plan. You've got a roadmap in front of them. You've got pretty graphs and everything that tell them how successful they're going to be. You have to do the work though. You have to get on the ground. If you're having trouble getting the work done, you don't know how to have these conversations, give us a call. Do a one-on-one with Skip or I. We're at coaching@virtualc.biz all the time. If you need more help, if you want to help you design this in fourth quarter, we will help you through the fourth quarter. In fact, we're going to do a 2-for-1 sale. So existing HIT members who sign up for coaching will get 2 months for the price of 3 months for the price of 2. I almost said 2 months for the price of 3.
Yeah, my math going.
I'll take that. But 2 months for the price of 3. The goal is we want to do fourth quarter planning with everyone. We'll walk you through the 4 pillars. We'll walk you through how to have these conversations, and it should pay for itself. I mean, that's the goal.
Absolutely.
But depending on your client size. But it all comes down to you and having conversations with your clients so that you can generate this roadmap. So your client says, yes, I want to do that. I want to come out ahead. I need an answer. And they're going to look at you like their savior because, oh my gosh, the first person to come in here with an actual plan on how I can be successful.
That's it.
So get a phone call today with your clients. Ask them to do a business, like what's going on next year? What do they need help with? Run the pillars and deliver a 2021 roadmap for your clients so they can feel confident in the next year. They can have something to look forward to in January. That's all I got to say on that, Skip.
Yep, that's good. I think, life is going to go on, whatever it looks like. And I think everyone is building in anticipation of 2021, whether things are better or not. I think things are going to pick up in 2021. Just everyone's ready to get back to work. They have things to do. They're going to figure out a way to do it. It may not be ideal, may not be the best scenario, but things are going to happen in 2021. And you want to be a part of that. You don't want to be playing catch up on it.
Can do.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll talk to everyone later. Again, if you have any questions on this, you guys get some one-on-one time with us. It's part of your subscription. You're already paying for it. Get us at coaching@virtualc.biz or check out our Calendly links that we send you guys. Until then, we'll see you guys next week at the same time.
See you.